Now take upon me, in the name of time, to use my wings.
Impute not the crime to me or my swift passage, that I slide o'er 16 years and leave the growth untried.
Leontes leaving, the effects of his fond jealousy so grieving that he shuts up himself.
Imagine me, gentle spectators, that I now may be in fair Bohemia. And remember well, I mention a child of the king's, which Florizel I now name to you.
And with speed so paced to speak of Perdita, now grown and graced a shepherd's daughter.
Of this aloud, if ever you have spent a time worse ere now.
If never, yet that time himself doth say, he wishes earnestly you never may.
I pray thee, good Camillo, be no more importunate. 'Tis a sickness denying thee anything, a death to grant this.
It is 15 years since I saw my country. I desire to lay my bones there. Besides, the penitent king, my master, Leontes, hath sent for me, to whose sorrows I might be some allay.
As thou lovest me, Camillo, of that fatal country, Sicilia, prithee speak no more, whose very mentioning punishes me with the remembrance of that penitent and reconciled king, my brother, whose loss of his most precious queen and children are even now to be afresh lamented. Say to me, when sawest thou the Prince Florizel, my child?
Sir, it is 3 days since I saw the prince. She is of late less frequent to her princely duties than formerly she hath appeared.
I have considered so much, and I have this intelligence that she is seldom from the house of a most homely shepherd, a man, they say, that from very nothing and beyond the imagination of his neighbors is grown into an unspeakable estate.
I have heard, sir, of such a man who hath a daughter, a most rare note.
That is likewise part of my intelligence. But I fear the angle that plucks our child thither. Thou shalt accompany us to the place where we will, not appearing what we are, have some question with the shepherd. Prithee, be my present partner in this business and lay aside thoughts of Sicilia.
I willingly obey your command.
Oh, my very best, Camillo! We must disguise ourselves.
I have served Prince Florizel, and in my time wore 3 pile. But now I'm out of service. My father named me Autolycus, and my revenue is the silly cheat. A prize, a prize. Let me see. What am I to buy for our sheep shearing feast? 3 pound of sugar, 5 pound of currants, rice. What will this sister of mine do with rice? But my father hath made her mistress of the feast, and she lays it on. Oh, that I was ever born! Aye, the name of me!
Oh, help me! Help me! I have been robbed, sir, and beaten. My money and apparel taken from me, and these detestable things put upon me.
Indeed, he should be a footman by the garments he has left with thee. Lend me thy hand. I'll help thee. Come, lend me thy hand.
Good sir, tenderly. Oh,
alas, poor soul.
Oh, good sir, softly, good sir. I fear my shoulder blade is out.
How now? Can't stand?
Oh, sweet, kind sir, you have done me a charitable office.
Dost lack any money? I have a little money.
Oh,
for
no,
thee.
good sweet sir, I beseech you, sir.
What manner of fellow was he that robbed you?
A fellow, sir, that
Okay.
I cannot
tell which of his virtues it was, but certainly that he was whipped out of the court.
His vices, you should say. There's no virtues whipped out of court.
Vices, I would say. Sir, it's a man I know well. Some call him Autolycus.
Out upon him. Brig! For my life, brig! He haunts wakes, fairs, and bear baitings.
Very true, sir. He, that's the rogue that put me into this apparel.
Not a more cowardly rogue in all Bohemia. If you had but looked big and spit at him, hell'd have run.
I must confess to you, sir, I am no fighter. I am weak of heart that way, and that he knew.
How do you know?
Oh, very good, sweet sir, much better than before. I can stand and walk. I will even take my leave of you and pace softly towards my kinsman.
Shall I bring thee on the way?
Good sir. No. Sweet sir.
Then fare thee well. I must go buy spices for our sheep shearing.
Prosper you, sweet sir. Your purse is not hot enough to purchase your spice with, and I'll be with you at your sheep shearing too. Jog on the footpathway, and merrily hence the style, eh? A merry heart goes all the day, your sad tires in a mile, eh?
These, your unusual weeds to each part of you do give a life. This, your sheep shearing, is a meeting of the petty gods, and you are the queen on it.
Your high self, the gracious mark of the land, you have obscured with the swain's wearing, and me, poor lowly maid, most goddess-like pranked up.
I bless the time when my good falcon made her flight across thy father's grounds.
Even now, I tremble to think your father, by some accident, should pass this way as you did. What would he say?
Nothing but jollity.
Oh, but miss, your resolution cannot hold when 'tis opposed, as it must be, by the power of the king.
Oh, dearest Perdita, with these forced thoughts, I prithee, darken not the mirth of the feast. See, your guests approach. Address yourself to entertain them sprightly, and let's be red with myrrh.
My daughter, you are retired as if you were a feasted one, and not the hostess of the meeting. Pray you, bid these unknown friends to welcome.
Sirs, welcome. It is my father's will I should take on me the hostesship of the day. You're welcome, sir. Oh, give me those flowers there, Dorcus. Reverend sirs, for you, there's rosemary and rue, and welcome to our shearing. Shepherdess, a fair one are you? Well, you fit our ages with the flowers of the winter.
I should leave grazing, where I have your flock and live only by gazing.
Ouch, alas! I would I had some flowers of the spring that might become your time of day. Oh, those I lack. This is the prettiest lowborn lass that ever ran on the green sward. Nothing she does or seems but smacks of something greater than herself. Too noble for this place.
Good sooth, she is the queen of curds and cream.
Come on, strike up! Come, strike up!
Pray, good shepherd, what fair swain is this which dances with your daughter?
They call her Dorcus, and boast herself to have a worthy feeding. And to be plain, I think there's not half a kiss to choose who loves my daughter best. She dances featly, so she does anything. If young Dorcus do light upon her, she shall bring her that which she not dream of.
Oh, father, if you did but hear the peddler at the door, he hath ribbons of and the color side the rainbow. Prithee, bring him in and let him approach, singing.
Gloves as soft as damask roses, mask for faces and for noses, pins and poking sticks of steel. What may lack from head to heel? Come by of me. Come by, lads, or else to our lasses cry, come by!
If I were not in love with Mopsa, thou shouldst take no money from me, but being as enthralled as I am at the bondage of certain ribbons and gloves.
I was promised them against the feast, but they come not too late now.
He hath promised you more than that, or there be liars.
He hath paid you all he promised you. Maybe he hath paid you more, which would shame you to give him again.
Is there no manners left among maids? But you must be tittle-tattling before our guests. 'Tis well they are whispering. Clamor your tongues, and not a word more.
I have done. Come, you promised me a tawdry lace and a pair of sweet gloves.
Have I not told thee how I was cozened by the way and lost all my money?
And indeed, sir, there are cozeners abroad. Therefore it behoves men to be wary.
Fear not, thou man. Thou shalt lose nothing here.
Well, I hope so, for I have about me many parcels of charge.
What hast here? Ballot?
Pray you buy some. I love a ballad and a print alike, for then we are sure they are true.
Here's one to a very doleful tune, of how a usurer's wife longed to eat adders' heads and toads.
Is it true, think you?
Very true, and but a month old.
Bless me from marrying a usurer.
And here's one mistress named to it. One mistress, tail porter, and 5 or 6 honest wives that were there at the time. Why should I carry lies abroad?
Pray you buy it.
Come on, let's first hear some more ballads. We'll buy the other things anon.
Here's a ballad of a fish that appeared on the coast of Wednesday, the 4th of April. Thought she was a woman and was then turned into a fish because she would not exchange little flesh with one that loved her. It's very pitiful and as true.
Is this true too, think you?
5 justices' hands at it and more witnesses than my pap will hold.
Lay it by to another.
Here's a merry ballad, but a very pretty one.
Let's have some merry ones.
This is a passing merry. Goes to the tune of 2 maids wooing a man. There's scarce a maid westward but sings it. 'Tis in request, I can tell you.
We can sing it. If thou'lt bear a part, thou shalt hear. 'Tis in 3 parts.
We had the tune on't a month ago.
You must know 'tis my occupation. Have at it with you. Get you hence, for I must go where it fits not you to know.
Whither?
Oh, whither?
Whither?
It becomes thy oath full well. Thou to me thy secrets tell.
Me too. Let me go thither.
Or thou goest to the orange or mill.
If to either thou dost ill.
Neither.
What neither?
Neither.
Thou hast sworn my love to thee.
Thou hast sworn it more to me. Then whither goest? Say whither.
We'll have this song out to none by ourselves. My father and the gentlemen are in sad talk and will not trouble them. Come away thy path after me. Wenches! A bye for you both. Peddler, let's have the first choice. Follow me, girls.
And you shall pay well for 'em. Whether man the finest wearer, money's a meddler, tunny's a peddler, and that man doth oughter moment wearer. Is not too far gone, 'tis time to part them. She's simple and tells much. How now, fair shepherd? Sooth, when I was young and handled love as you do, I was wont to load my she with knacks.
Old sir, I know. She prizes not such trifles as these are. The gifts she looks for me are packed and locked up in my heart.
What follows this? Let me hear what you profess.
Do, and be witness to it.
Oh, and this my neighbor, too?
And he, and more than he, and men, the earth, the heavens, and all. More than ever was man's. I would not prize them without her love. For her employ them all, commend them and condemn them to her own service or their own perdition.
Fairly offered. This shows sound affection.
That's my daughter. Say you the like to her?
I cannot speak so well, nothing so well. No, nor mean better. By the pattern of mine own thoughts, I cut out the purity of hers.
Take hands, a bargain, and friends unknown bear witness to't. I bind my daughter to her. Come, your hand, and daughter, yours.
Soft swain a while, beseech you. Have you a father?
I have, but what of him?
Knows he of this?
He neither does nor shall.
Well, methinks a father is at the nuptial of his child a guest that best becomes the table. Pray you once more, Is not your father grown incapable of reasonable affairs?
I yield to all this, but for some other reasons, my grave sir, which 'tis not fit for you to know, I not acquaint my father of this business.
Let him know it.
He shall not.
Prithee, let him.
No, he must not.
Let him, my child, and he shall not need to grieve at knowing of thy choice.
Come, he must not. Mark our contract.
Mark your divorce, young miss. Whom child I dare not call. Thou art too base to be acknowledged. Oh, thou old traitor, I'm sorry that by hanging thee I can but shorten thy life 1 week.
Oh, my heart.
I'll have thy beauty scratched with briars and made more homely than thy present state. For thee, young girl. If I ever may hear that thou dost but sigh, that thou shalt never see this neck again, as never I mean thou shalt. Thou churl, for this time, though full of our displeasure, yet we but free thee from the dead blow of it. If ever henceforth thou shalt these entrances to her open, or hoop her body more with thy embraces, I'll devise a death as cruel for thee as thou art tender to it.
Even here, undone. Will please you be gone. I told you what would come of this.
Oh, now, Father, speak or thou diest.
I cannot speak nor think. Undone! If I might die within this hour, then I have lived to die when I desire.
Why you look so upon me? I am but sorry. Not a fear delayed, but nothing altered.
Gracious lady, you know your father's temper. Therefore, till the fury of his highness pass, come not before him.
How often have I told you 'twould be thus? How often said my dignity would last, but till 'twere known.
It cannot fail, but
Be advised. This is desperate.
I mean not to see him anymore. Cast your good counsels upon his passions, but I am put to sea with her who here I cannot hold on shore.
Have you thought on a place whereto you'll go?
Not any yet.
Then list to me. Make for Sicilia. There present yourself and your fair princess. Methinks I see Leontes opening his free arms and weeping his welcomes forth. Asks thee, the daughter, forgiveness as 'twere in your father's person.
Worthy Camillo, what color of visitation shall I hold before him?
Sent by the king, your father. I'll write you down, the which shall point you forth at every listing what you must say. He shall not perceive but that you had your father's bosom there and speak his very heart.
I am bound to you. There is some sap in this.
A cause more promising. Besides, you know, prosperity's the very bond of love, whose fresh complexion and heart together affliction alters.
I think affliction may subdue the cheek, but not weaken the mind.
Yea, say you so? There shall not at your father's house these 7 years be born another such.
Your pardon, sir. For this I'll bless you thanks.
What a fool honesty is, and trust, his sworn brother, a very simple gentleman. I have sold all my trumpery, not a counterfeit stone, not a ribbon, glass, pomander, brooch, table book, glove, knife, tape, shoe tie, horn ring, bracelet to keep my pack from fasting. I understand their business. To have an open ear, a nimble hand, a quick eye is necessary for a cut purse. A good nose is requisite too, to smell at work for the other senses. I see this is the time to be unjust man doth thrive. What an exchange this has been. The prince herself stealing away from the king a piece of iniquity. And if I thought it were a piece of honesty to acquaint the king withal, I would not do it. I hold it all the more neighborly to conceal it, and therein I am constant to my profession. Aside, here's more matter for a hot brain.
See? See what a man you are now? There was no other way but to tell the king that she's a changeling and none of your flesh and blood.
Nay, but hear me.
Nay, but hear me!
Go to, then.
she being none of your flesh and blood. Your flesh and blood has not offended the king, and your flesh and blood is not to be punished by him.
Oh, I will tell the king all. Yeah, every word. And his daughter's pranks too, who I might say is no honest woman, neither to her father nor to me, to go about to make me the king's brother-in-law.
Right, and brother-in-law is the farthest off you could have been to him.
Well, let us to the king then.
Though I am not naturally honest, I sometimes so am by chance. How now, rustics? Whither to are you bound?
To the palace, ain't like your worship.
Your affairs there. What? With whom? Your the condition of your dwelling, your names, your ages, of what having, breeding, and anything that is fitting to be known, discover to me.
We are but plain fellows, sir.
A lie. You are rough and hairy. Let me have no lying, it becomes none but tradesmen.
Are you a courtier, sir? Ain't like you?
Am I a courtier? Whether it like me or not, I am a courtier. Seest thou not in these enfoldings the air of the court? Receives not thy nose court odor from me? Reflect I not on my baseness court contempt, and therefore I will either push on or pluck back thy business there, whereupon I command thee to open thy affair.
My business, sir, is to the king.
What advocate hast thou to him?
I know not, ain't like you, sir.
Advocate's the court word for pheasant, say you have none.
None, sir. I have no pheasant, cock nor hen.
How blessed we are that we are not simple gentlemen. I see God might have made me as these are, and therefore I will not disdain.
This cannot be but a great courtier.
His garments are rich, but he wears them not handsomely.
He seems to be the more noble and being a great man. I know by the picking on his teeth.
The fardel there. What's in a fardel? Wherefore that box?
Sir, there lie such secrets in this box that none must know but the king, and which he must know within this hour, if I may come to the speech of him.
Age. Thou hast lost thy labor.
Why, sir?
The king is not at the palace. He is gone aboard a new ship to purge melancholy. Thou must know the king is full of grief.
So 'tis said, sir, about his child that should have married a shepherd's daughter.
If that shepherd be not in handfast, let him fly. The curses he shall have, the tortures he shall feel will break the back of man, the heart of monster.
Think you so, sir?
Oh, not him alone. Those remain to him, though removed 50 times, will all come under the hangman, which, though it be a great pity, yet it is necessary. Some say he shall be stoned to death, but that death is too soft for him.
Does the shepherd heir a son, sir? Do you hear? Ain't like you, sir.
He has a son who shall be flayed alive, and then anointed over with honey, and then set on the head of a wasp's nest till he be 3/4 dead, and then recovered again with some hot infusion. And then, raw as he is, and in the hottest day shall he be set against a brick wall, with the sun southward facing eye upon him, till he is to behold him with flies blown death. But what talk we of these traitorly rascals, whose offenses are so capital as to be laughed at? Tell me, for you seem to be honest, plain men. What business have you with the king? I will take you where he is abroad. I will tend him to your persons, whisper to him on your behalf, and if it be in man to effect your suits, beside the king, here is man shall do it.
He seems to be of great authority.
close with him, give him gold. And show the inside of your purse to the outside of his hand, and no more ado. Remember, stoned and flayed alive. And please you, sir, to undertake the business for us. Here is the gold that I have, and I'll make it much more, and leave this young man to pawn till I bring it to you.
After I have done what I have promised.
Aye, sir.
Well, give me the moiety. Are you a party in this business?
In some sort, sir, though my case be a pitiful one, I hope I shall not be played out of it.
Oh, that's the case of the shepherd's son. He'll be made an example of.
Mm-hmm. Comfort. Good comfort. We must to the king and show our strange sights. He must know 'tis none of your daughter nor my sister who is in our presence. I will give you as much as this man promises, and be as your pawn, as he says, till it be brought you.
I will trust you. Walk along the seaside, go on the right hand. I will but look upon the hedge and follow you.
You are but blessing this man, as I may say, even blessed. Let's before he bid us, as he was provided to do us good.
If it were a piece of honesty, I see fortune will not suffer me. She drops booties in my mouth, and I am courted with double occasion. There's gold, and the chance to do the prince, my master, good. I will present them to her. There may be matter in it.